Hello, and welcome to Oracle Storytelling. I'm Sarah of Sarah Wing Intuitive Arts, and welcome. It is October. I brought out some sparkly, lovely things because I was thinking I would do a Halloween edition, but time is moving so fast that I'm not sure if Halloween will just blow by. So some lovely sparklies brought in today. Yes, we're at the end of 2020. We're heading into the holiday season. And I was thinking for today's story to do a love story. And I pulled a few books. I'm using 2 Matt Kahn books because I love him and he teaches the love revolution. So who better to help us with a love story? And I'm also going to be using a few oracle decks and some charms. I want to say thank you so much to Rena and Kate for helping me pick some numbers. I have been given 3 numbers 1 through 100 and 3 numbers 1 through 10. 1 through 100 are going to give me the page number in a book, and the number 1 through 10 will give me the number, the paragraph that I'll count down to on the page. Okay. Also, Kate is 6 months and a week, so
Thank you, Kate. Oh, yeah, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, okay.
I figure that's a better thank you for her. So I don't know what type of love story this is going to be. It could be a self-love story, it could be romantic, it could be nourishing, it could be fantasy, it could be fable, it could be hopes, dreams, it could have a unicorn. But we'll see. We'll see what comes up and comes through. And so to start our tale off, I'm going to read the first selection from one of the books. How many times in your life have you blamed yourself in a state of happiness? How many times have you blamed happily? It's nearly impossible because those who blame are not happy. At our core, we are all such sensitive, heart-centered beings that the thought that anyone who blames us is unhappy can kind of feel like a form of blame unto itself. Such an acceptance is not actually a judgment, it's an awareness. Okay, so seems like we need to get a little rebalanced, refocused. We're feeling like people are maybe not taking responsibility. People are blaming you for things, and you don't want to judge them, but there's a certain level of acceptance that maybe you're just making a discerning call. Because the other choice is to believe that judgment and let it lead you in your in the ways that your mind and body reacts to it. And if you don't feel that that judgment is authentic for you, then it's time to walk away from that judgment /person's opinion. So I want to get I'm going to draw a little charm and then draw a card to help us with to being okay with being aware that other people's judgments are not a one-size-fits-all, and we don't have to linger around people who dispel their judgments onto us. Okay, so let's see. I thought judgment-free. Oh, and this is beautiful. Okay, so we got the clear heart and a key with the heart, and I love when I do not remember at all getting this charm. At all, I don't. So this is beautiful. So what I'm getting from this, and then I'll combine it with the card I draw, is I always think of this as somebody who's being completely transparent and honest. Okay? So let's relate this to ourselves. Let's take on the feeling of being judged by someone. And we don't feel like it resonates with us, but maybe we start to judge ourselves if we don't think about the judgment. Like, shouldn't we at least consider? No. What's authentic for us is true for us. So if we feel that what the other person is saying is not authentic for us, then it's not something that we need to take on. There are times when people say things that come out of their ego, and we need to kind of be able to pull back in the moment and recognize that what they're saying has nothing to do with us. This clear heart also represents to me somebody who is completely trustworthy, who is transparent, who shows when they are coming from a place of authenticity for themselves, which is expressing how they feel, not necessarily how they see you feel, you do, you are, if that makes sense. And I like to think this as like a beautiful pairing. So the difference, so how do we so I'm going to say, how do we follow and align more with this kind of transparent, true heart that absolutely we want to, that's the one we want to follow. That's the one that, those are the kinds of hearts we want to surround ourselves with, right? Ones that are trustworthy and transparent. And, those are the ones we want to, that's like the lock and the key. It fits perfectly, that kind of harmonious energy that we want to bring and we want to be around. So this is interesting. So I'm going to use the Starseed Oracle and get some idea on how to nurture those relationships. Okay? Ooh. Okay. So for anyone that has recently felt some harsh judgments and really taken them in, or been kind of feel like you're the Brita filter or pure filter, just water filter, the filter for someone else's emotions, whether it's whatever type of relationship, especially during shelter in place confines. If you feel like you're kind of their Brita filter right now, maybe the judgments are coming in a heavier way, but in a subtler way like that. So a way to kind of get your heart and your mind clear, right, is to water your garden. Nourishment, body care, tenderness, rest. What I really notice most in this card is how the person is having this moment of like exhale. Their hands are right behind their neck. It's just this moment of just really dropping down into themselves, dropping down into the depths of themselves, nourishing themselves, nourishing that root chakra, nourishing their solar plexus, maybe some extra nourishment and attention to your solar plexus. Maybe self-esteem is something coming up for you, and definitely spending more time even just honoring the area of your body and paying sacred attention to that, or drawing that area of your body. breathing in and out, meditating from seeing breath coming in and out of that, out of your solar plexus. Okay, so I definitely think, and in general, just a message of rest, which is this priceless, rejuvenating, gorgeous thing. Is when we feel rested, our mind is that much, clearer. Our heart is that much clearer. Rest can mean time away from someone's energy, someone's opinions, because sometimes, our heart can get full and kind of fill up on the energy from others, and we do need that time to rest and retreat into ourselves to really clear our hearts and minds, so we can honor when we are being discerning, so we can be less reactive if we are incapable in the moment of also of taking a step back when somebody else is in their ego and letting us know how we are, who we should be, etc. Alrighty, I'm gonna take a sip of this. Okay, so we're kind of in the garden right now. We're in the garden. We're really taking in the messages from ourselves. So what's coming in? What's coming up when we take that rest and rejuvenation? What's coming up for us? If there's something in your life that doesn't feel like a gift, just sit with this wisdom until it feels authentic. It's not a gift until it's a gift. You might need to start with, thank you for this hardship. Thank you for this betrayal. Thank you for this abuse. Thank you. If you can at least say thank you. Some of the worst things that have ever happened to you on a vibrational level, you will feel something deep inside you shift. When it occurs, it is always the presence of forgiveness answering the call to make things right. Whew. Okay, so it looks like once we went inside and did some searching and really, we got in the garden, we got clear, and we went right in with the key and unlocked what's going on inside our hearts. And it's heavy. It's heavy, right? A lot of heavy stuff is coming up. And there's this want to forgive. So we want to forgive. And sometimes it can start with words. Forgiveness, really hard things to forgive. A lot of teachers will often remind that forgiveness doesn't mean that what happened was okay. We forgive to help be more present to our lives, to align with ourselves, to assure a less harsh journey for ourselves mentally and physically as we move ahead. Forgiveness is not something that suddenly gives permission or grants or allows terrible, mean-spirited, bad, evil acts to be done. Forgiveness, like they say, is a gift you give yourself. And if it doesn't feel like a gift right away, it doesn't feel like a gift until it does. And words can really hit you. The right words when you hear something and it just like cracks that Rubik's Cube in your mind that's been so frustrating that you can't forgive. You just can't forgive something. And you hear a phrasing one way. And suddenly it's like the door just cracked open that teeny tiny bit and you can put your foot in and go, even with your eyes rolling and your resistance guards up, you can start the process. I know along the steps of forgiveness for me, one thing along my journey for forgiving different people that I really really is helpful to me is I think of some people and I hope they get absolutely every single thing they could want and desire in life, which may sound counterintuitive or crazy, but if this helps even the most somebody who's super jaded hearing that, I do believe that there are things that we want, things that we feel we need, but what we do really need, I believe, comes to us. I think there's a lot that we want that's very external and very momentary and very momentary gratification. And once it's there, so what? And then what's next? It's kind of chasing the next and the next thing. And I think there's a big difference between what we want and what we need. And a lot of people who take actions that maybe feel are very hard to forgive, in my mind, I just think I hope they get everything they want. Because I also have a very strong feeling that once they get everything they want, maybe, just maybe, they can possibly start to see what they actually need. There's a moment of breakthrough, of release, of instinct, of whatever, some kind of big crossroad tower come to Jesus moment where if you got everything you wanted, there's nobody in the world that would just sit there and go, well, I'm good and I'm done. That kind of cracking of the shell of self would happen. Anyway, that is just one particular phrasing that really appeals to me very much. So, on that note, forgiveness. Okay, let's get a nice, tender, loving card again from the Starseed Oracle on forgiveness. Actually, let me get some charms before. I have some charms on forgiveness. Okay, I'm going to pull one. So this is some foreign currency here. And the number 20 is on it, if 20 resonates for anyone for something. And yeah, it's 20 cents. It's from Hong Kong. So if that's for someone. So 20, I'm gonna pull another one. Okay. Oh, so change. So change. I'm gonna say change. So part of forgiveness is change, right? Is not being so attached to the idea that the person or people or situation will change, but in yourself making the changes. How about that? Then we have, there are two sides to this, but I see the little pattern that I see an acorn in. So change so you can grow. I see this as growth, as planting the seed, planting that tiny little, that acorn, planting the seed of change. And then have this lovely fairy charm. Thanks, Laurette. This lovely fairy charm and taking a bow. I feel like she's taking a bow, and I'm gonna look at that like a job well done. Like, thank you so much. Yes, like being proud of yourself that you could take the first step. Take a bow, give yourself some credit. Credit where credit is due. Yeah, just being proud, like taking that bow, like, yes, I did the first step. I took this first action. I've done it. Okay, let's see where this card for forgiveness puts us next. Sometimes it's okay, this is perfect. So, all right. Focus back on yourself with forgiveness, with you're not for everyone. So huge. At a certain point when maybe you don't, okay, in a situation where whether forgiveness comes kind of easily and is kind of just part of the process of uh, leaving any type of relationship, or if it's a little harder, at some point you come to this crossroad, which is you're not for everyone. You just aren't. I'm not. No one is. We're not for everyone. Embrace your weirdness. Face your true north. Hell yeah. So here we go. Now I love this because here's this little fairy here, and she's totally, he, totally taking a bow. Like, yes, job well done. And this is like, look, it's like this grand universal stage. And, here this person stands, and I think it's the same thing. She got another flowing little gown and is going to take this grand bow. Like, yes, well done. I am not for everyone. Like this beautiful acknowledgement that you're just not. You can't be everything to everyone. You can't. Who you are is aligned with certain aspects and certain things that are so infused in your core. And, we can twist ourselves up and we can make ourselves act and be and imitate so many things. And we can blame and be in pain and suffer as a result. But when we free ourselves from putting ourselves in situations where we have to constantly twist and remake our sense of self to fit the moment, the conversation, the person, the relationship, whatever it is, when we stop doing that, look at the sense of freedom there. Oh my, thank God I'm not for everyone. Oh, what a relief. Can you imagine if you were for everyone? Sounds horrifying. Now maybe you think it'd be great to be so famous. Oh my God, and like I'm for everyone. That's a personality, that's a persona. But as an actual human being, say you're super duper popular and you have like 1 million people that follow you and love you in some way or another. Wonderful. You cannot spend time with 1 million people. You have people that you resonate with that are this clear, true heart for you. Most of the time, that's what they are. And that's authentic. And then, sometimes you put this heart on other people and you see like how clear or unclear it is around you, And that's the measure of it too, is are you for this person? Are you not for this person, If you want to make it about them, like, am I for you? But really, you're not for everyone. Nobody is. But God, isn't that amazing? Look, once you realize it, you can take a bow on this big cosmic stage and look, it's like throwing glitter from your hands. Amazing. When you're not for everyone, you get to make really cool glittery fans because you're not for everyone. When you're not for everyone, you get to do that when you're not for everyone. All right. So at this point in the journey, we are doing pretty damn good. We're feeling good. So this is like the moment of breakthrough, okay? This would be like, let's say you have a mild, medium hot, or scorching tower moment in your life. This would be like afterwards, you've learned a lesson. You are the star, baby. You are the star. You are center stage on the biggest universal stage of them all. Okay, now what? I think that's the next thing is okay, now what though? Like, that's cute and that's great, but seriously, and now what? What are they gonna do for the last? Ah, yes. So now what? Last one was 22 and 8. Okay. While you may be nearly jumping out of your skin, wanting to offer a morsel of truth that can uplift the nature of someone else's experiences, such transformation is only ready to be received when others are open to greater insights through the questions they will ask. Okay, yeah. So, one thing that happens when you gain insight, right, is you get really excited about sharing it, especially when it feels like something universal. But just like no one is for everyone, you're not for everyone. Not everybody wants to hear your big, great insights. And some people do. Some people do. Some people who are close to you are going to want to hear these insights. Some people won't. It is not a make or break. It's a terrible person who doesn't want to hear your insights. But not everyone does. And it's a great thing to accept that, because there can be a backslide of a kind of codependence, or if this is in particular to, oh, I've had this breakthrough, you don't want to, that, like, now I can fix it. You know, there's those potential, now that I know what was wrong, no, nothing was wrong. You just need to keep it moving along. So it's kind of that place of like, don't stop. Keep going ahead. Keep learning more. But if someone isn't ready to hear what you're sharing with them, you know, say a friend is listening, but you don't see them automatically jumping aboard your epiphany train, that's okay. Like, be grateful to spend time with your friend. Listen to something, you know, that they think. You know, maybe jump on their train, and maybe another friend or loved one will hear it and take and run with it and be inspired by it the way you're inspired by it. It could happen, it could not. But the point is, you've gotten this great gift, and now you get to go forward and grow with it. So let's see. Let's say we're going to do a positive, okay? We're going to be positive about this. And we're going to learn from our trials. All right, well, hey, this is great. We got another heart. We got a rose quartz heart. I always think of like really gentle, kind, loving energy. So it makes me think of really nurturing yourself, staying in that nurturing place, not jumping back in toward super harsh energies, or jumping backwards, trying to fix something or save something, because you're not for everyone. Okay? So we have this gorgeous rose quartz heart, and a goat. So it makes me think of like Three Billy Goats Gruff. I'm really trying to remember that fairy tale right now. I think there was like a leprechaun, maybe not. Something about crossing under a bridge. So let's see. For anyone who knows that fairy tale, I'm going to mention that. I wish I could tell you the lesson from that, but I cannot recall the tale at this moment. What else? That turn of phrase like "get your goat." Maybe you'll be smarter the next time. That you can stop yourself when somebody's dispelling judgments at you, and you won't let it get your goat, or won't let you like be antagonized, triggered, get your goat. Or you'll recover just a little quicker because you've been really caring and nurturing to yourself. And so your kind of turnaround time is shortened. You don't let it bug you as much. Is that a goat? I don't know. All right. And since I said fairy tale, I'm going to pull a fairy tale oracle card. Kind of see, where a next good place to start. Where's next adventure? I like the idea of a next adventure for her heart because that rhymed. Oh, it's so funny. All right. I almost was gonna use the last set of numbers for a card number, and the numbers that were given to me, the last set of numbers started with 22. I just think it's funny that we ended up getting the card 22 for the last. So this is the Sea Maiden Promises. All right. I might actually look up the qualities in the story. So let's see what we have here. We have this gorgeous little mermaid. We have the number 22. So we've gotten a 20 and a 22. So possibly these could be upcoming dates of this month even. So the 20th and the 22nd, maybe look up something astrologically, going on universally or with your chart specifically. I know we're going to be in some more retrogrades. I don't think we're getting out of any retrogrades during that time frame. No, I don't think we're getting out of any retrogrades. So promises. And I like the look on her face. She's kind of just like, it's funny. I kind of get this like curious, but also slightly mischievous, look like, I could, or I could not. Like kind of like being playful with the choice. So I'm kind of curious actually what qualities come up for this specific card. So I've not memorized these cards. Okay, so the thing that pops out in the meanings for this particular fairy tale is, okay, so keeping our word, being prepared to make a sacrifice, choosing what you'll give up. Now that part really strikes me, the choosing what you'll give up, because you can see like her eyes, like I was saying, it's kind of like she's thinking, I could or I could not. Like there's this choice. There's definitely this choice, and to know that she has that choice. And then kind of that follow through, I'm seeing promises. So like sticking to your choice, being discerning, honoring your choice, honoring yourself. Changing your fate, surviving your destiny. Because this fairy tales are pretty dark. Come on. So changing your fate, surviving your destiny. Again, I think of choice. I think of what are the choices we make in between the huge things that we might think, oh, this is really defining. But those really defining moments, we're really navigating them with the person that shows up based on the choices that we've made up to that point. And, I think one thing about honoring choices is just keeping them. With respect to kind of intention. So keeping, things change, but keeping your intention. Being able to, she's a mermaid. So, be in the flow. Being able to keep your intentions even when you're in the depths of things, even when things feel incredibly heavy or overwhelming. It's like surviving your fate. Survive it. survive, everything can't be a stroll or a walk in the park. Challenges will come up, you know? Um, and we need to know how to swim when we're in the depth of things. We need to know, because we can't just sit around holding our breath, and waiting for, life to give us all different kinds of forms of CPR. Uh, because when life comes in, when it's tired of waiting, it tends to be very dramatic. It tends to be those life-saving, life-changing CPR, resuscitation type moments. So I'm going to pull one more card of. Oh, actually, I'm going to. I'm going to pull a couple cards that give us some guidance on how to keep our intention strong. So being discerning and holding our intentions. Okay, so here's the Death card. Death is rebirth. Death is choosing what we give up, choosing what we let go of. Okay? We are in a brand new decade, 2020, and a lot of us have, felt like we're giving up stuff not by our own choice, but we need to recognize what we are choosing to give up, what we're choosing to let go of. And we've been in the year, 3/4 of the year, and we're gonna be in 2021 soon. So really standing up and being discerning of what we're going to let go. Let's take that kind of power of discernment. What else will be helpful for us? Sensitivities. Honoring that too. Honoring what we are sensitive to, and having a little sense of exploration there. Going into our garden, getting this, replenishment every once in a while. We go back in. We don't just go in there once and then, get into the thick of it and then come to this breakthrough moment and never go back again. No, we go back. We keep going back, we have to keep going back. We have to keep going back in for that wisdom that we found. Part of what happens in traditional tarot, there's the tower. It's sometimes when you don't make those changes in life and life changes for you. Things fall apart, everyone dies, people move, I don't know, like everything collapses in some way around you or on you. And when you come out of it, the next card is the Star card, and it's this endless, boundless hopefulness and knowledge and faith, and the Stars has these jugs of water that she's pouring in, and she's not worried about pouring them out, but she knows they're endless. They'll continuously pour and replenish. And that's kind of what we need to know, is we can always go back to this wellspring of our inner self and be nourished and gain wisdom for the next thing and the next thing. It's this cycle, we'll start in this beautiful wellspring and we end back up in it. We might be at the depths, like a little mermaid in the depths of the ocean when we've found our center and are ready to finally move forward again. But then we'll rise back up and we're back in this beautiful, nourishing place. It's cyclic. It's necessary. We need to let go, to rise. To rise back up. to give ourselves now what we've dropped off. We have the space open to nourish. We're going to use that key again and unlock the wisdom that we need. So, yeah, I guess that was a love story about releasing other people's judgment, is what it seems like. And judgment that caused trauma. It can be some pretty heavy judgment, it feels like. I don't know, being confined in smaller spaces maybe, or feeling more cooped up. Emotionally, things can also, you might need to kind of like water your garden, but kind of like drain your garden. I'm using a lot of, we're talking about a lot of water. It can be literal water, or it could be a metaphor. But this kind of release into water, literal water can be great. Just putting your hands and sitting on the earth and releasing into the earth the things that you want to let go of. These are all steps. You can take an action step, you can verbalize something, you can write something, you can do an action, you can something where you are mentally, physically, or otherwise distancing yourself from this judgment, this betrayal, this whatever it was. Moving yourself away from that and putting yourself closer to a sense of your own inner knowledge. Because judgment is not going to, other people's judgment is not going to, be the key that fits the lock of your heart, that solves your biggest query. You're going to do that, and you can do that through self-judgment, and self-judgment can turn into self-inquiry. But your emotions are key. Your feelings are key to solving whatever kind of ripples have come up through the judgment or betrayal or whatever's gone on, where you need to self-nourish and replenish that hurt space, that love. Yeah. So I hope that that story resonates. And we didn't get a love story. Maybe, I don't know, do a romantic Halloween or something and actually use some romance cards. But hope everybody is staying safe and sane. And if you're feeling sad or down, if the change of season or second wave of universal change going on right now is hitting you especially hard, please say something to someone, make a phone call, send a text, write it out at the very least, say it out loud, let your voice be heard somehow, and start the process of nourishing yourself and loving yourself. And don't wait. Do it now. Take a step right now. If you're feeling sad or low, reach out to someone, wherever you're reaching out, that is a loving, supportive person. Reach out for that love. Reach out to be heard by somebody who will be receptive. And until next time, take care.